Hello everyone, Granite Roots. Tonight I'm starting out on Druid Healer, something new for me, do with this. Right now we're fighting this very thick red group that's all booned up. I think it ended up being like 60% of their comp is boons, so we had a little bit of challenge to get them down, but I think we as a group did very well. We're clearly outnumbered at this point, but I think we get some randos that eventually join and help. We also are close to our waypoint because it's north camp, so we can run from citadels, so we can get a lot more run backs. You can see us regroup a couple times. This was literally about a 10-minute fight. I tried to cut out some of the wait times for regrouping, which wasn't much, a few seconds here or there, just trying to make this easier to watch. So anyway, on to Druid. So you have Turtle and Bear. Turtle gives you Dome, Bear gives you Condi Cleanse. This one has great Condi Cleanse going in and out of Celestial Avatar, which you're going to use a lot of. So yeah, then you have your glyphs give protection. Of course, Binding Roots not only binds people up, but moves them about. Now watch these comps, watch this guy's bar. Every so often you can see all these boons on it. And then you're going to see them shrink and go back up, and then another point you're going to see that he's down, and then someone drops a banner, does a rebound or something on him, which, no, I'm not complaining about that, but just showing how challenging this was against some of these guys that are running, these groups that are running mostly boon builds. So you can see later on I swapped a heal scourge for the next fight in this video just because we needed more boon stripper to be against the same group. We do end up winning against these guys, but it is a long drawn out battle. Eventually it's just down to their supports. It just takes us a while to drop them because we didn't have as much boon strip as would have made it easier. You can also watch for some of my mistakes on Druid, and we'll call those out as we see them. Okay, so we're gonna come back and regroup. And so I cut out a few seconds here. You can see us now regrouped, ready to go back in. I'm getting used to the maces too. I don't usually use maces, they're still relatively new to me. I tried this out briefly earlier today to get a feel for it before running it tonight. Probably could have used more time, but you can see I need to do better with the spirits, but I did pretty good with the elite spirit that reses. You'll see a couple of reses I do later on. I'm going to drop it now to get it ready. And we'll see if I could use that later. Okay, and whenever Turtle F2 comes up, drop that. Nice dome, projectile block, some barrier. It's hard because we keep moving, but even in the moment it does help. Okay, glyphs, I think I could position that better. I think I'm pretty good with the Celestial Avatar. I did a much better job trying to stay on group. You can see Druid puts out a lot of heal numbers, which is nice. Okay, so a lot of our people are down. We're waiting for run backs. We're gonna just kind of kite a little bit, and then we're going to regroup and then do another push. And this kind of happens like 3 or 4 times for this fight. It's a very long fight, but it's very good. Everybody on both sides did very well. I mean, even though they're 60% supports, you got to give them credit to keep it going. But again, we're still outnumbered, so let's say we still did very well. And we use the tactic. You can see us constantly moving around because we're trying to use the well and the flag to break line of sight, and it causes people to get tripped up. So see the bubbles there, enemy bubbles? I want to stay out of those. I do really well staying out of them for the most part, but I get caught. I'm sorry, Sanferic couldn't res you because healers aren't supposed to res. And that's very hard for me to run past you because normally my instinct is to res. I'll get you next time I'm on DPS. Or maybe running Thief. Okay, so I get Elite Spirit down just in case, because we are clashing. But I can get better at placing and timing that because I think I wasted that. Okay, we did have some bubbles though. It did help take some of the boons off. Again, every time CA comes up off a cooldown, I'm trying to drop all that, and you can also double up where you drop Seed of Life and drop your Impact Skill 3 right on top of it, or any other things, like if you use Healing Spring and then drop it on there. But Druid build has great healing. and Condi Cleanse and other good utilities as well. Okay, again we're cycling around the well. Very mobile. Okay, another lunar impact. Boom. Drop a healing spring right there. I did res there. I know it's a no-no, but I think we had enough time away from the pressure. Again, I'm staying outside those bubbles if I can. Just watch the healing numbers go up with the druid skills. It's really good. And I like this skill. They're easy to use while you're moving. You don't get limited with that. Like skill 4 follows you in an AoE. 2 and 3, you can move that AoE anywhere you want. Okay, here we go. Back into Celestial Avatar. I use skill 3 first whenever I can because of the nature of the trait line. That skill will cool down a little bit faster than usual if that's the first one you use when you go into Celestial Avatar, because it counts as a weapon swap. And that's the trait. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in the trait line. This build I got off Guild Gen, by the way. That's where I get all my builds for World vs. World. Supply trap. I don't know who put that there, but that just kind of cracks me up. Alright, see, I'm in the bubble. Try and get out of the bubble. Bubbles can strip boons and do all sorts of tomfoolery I don't want. Okay, and our commander's quite mobile, so I'm keeping right on his tail as much as I can, but sometimes I find myself on the opposite side, and so I'm going to work to get back to him. Okay, we have more downs there. Finally starting to crack some of them. Now you see all the supports they have. Boom, 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 boom. All those boons and healing and barrier just goes right up. This is where I didn't do it right, and I got downed, and I deserved to be because I just hung out in that bubble, which stripped my boons. So that's what I get. But thankfully, someone rezzed me. Appreciate you so much. Not sure who it was, but if I ever find out, I might put you back onto my Christmas card list. Okay. Yeah, just look at all those condis and all those debuffs. Good. And you know, skill 3 onto skill 5 or into other, even healing spring is a blast finisher. Does a little bit more healing, so again we're going to regroup. Here comes our final push. We've whittled them down, now they're mostly supports. And you can see we still don't have really overwhelming numbers on them. It's still almost same amount of numbers, or maybe a little bit less. But we're finally catching up, because this group isn't as thick as it was when we started. And I don't know if their peeps ever tried to run back, but we are going to have them put down pretty soon. And that was me just checking, because I never really know what those glyphs did in Celestial Avatar. This time I got stuck there. You see I was immobilized. So I was checking while we were doing that. Now I know they're just Condi cleanses and stun breaks or whatevs. Okay, good. Now you see we're finally making some progress. And nice interrupt there. That's the other thing I love about Lunar Impact. It's another interrupt. Mace 3 is a jumping forward interrupt with protection. So Mace is pretty good. I just have to get used to it. And I think Mace 4 gives you some barrier. Mace 5 just beats the ground, does some interrupts. Mace 2 is just a short span of regeneration. And we have this down, and finally we can go get some takeout. Alright, on to the next one. Same group. Now we're going to be in the garrison. So we're grouping up behind the columns. We're going to go up behind them. I've swapped the heal scourge at this point because I have more boon strip, which is going to make a big difference. And we're grabbing the tail here, which is going to help us. We'd already closed the gate since they came in. And now we're going to bail off because they're starting to push. We're going to kind get out of range there. And in this one we have a couple of the tags, so we're actually almost evenly matched on the numbers. I think they're still a little bit thicker, but it's still that BOON comp, BOON heavy, so it's just really kind of hard to do that. But it does help because now we did make some of those changes for adding more BOON rip, and we had a much easier time with this fight than the previous fight. Plus we have a few more people, so it's not like we have to keep running back so much. Okay, we're going to go out through the portal and regroup. And then we're going to go back in, and we're going to use the columns to our advantage. Kind of break line of sight. Same kind of tactic I used with in the video I published earlier when I was on Sword, Dagger, Thief, Roaming with that druid. I kept using the trees so he couldn't get me with a short bow, but I could port back to him. So we're kind of doing the same thing with these guys, chasing their tail, but breaking line of sight so they can't yank us or hit us with range stuff. So we're going to go around, ring around the rosy for a little bit. And this build is a bit harder now that they've changed it, or I guess it's just not as powerful, but it's still a good viable build. I did a lot with it. You had a lot for wound rip, a lot for barrier, some healing, Condi clear, even Greatsword 5 and pulls is dynamite. Not as good as Scorpion Wire and Thief. I had so much fun with that. It's too bad I don't really care for the sword dagger build. Unless it's on group, then it's good. And here I'm kind of running back. You're like, dude, where are you going? I was trying to get out of combat so I could res some down people, but I just couldn't get far enough. So, back in the fight we go. We're just going to kind of kite and pick things off while we wait for some runbacks to regroup, because we did have some that did get defeated, so we're going to wait for them to come back. And I'm just going to hang out with this other two tags, just trying to hold the fort down. And this Mesmer's trying to get away. I kind of really fixated on him and didn't want him to. And pretty excited. I got my wish. Tonight was going to be a full druid night, but definitely need to go boon rip. And so this is going to be a cool one though. Once we're going to regroup once more, and then we do our final push. The way it works out is really kind of awesome. I really thought it was great. Okay, so we're going to stack up. We're getting our runbacks. We're going to have our other peeps come out. We're going to veil in, and we're going to run the columns again. Those are great for tactics and managing groups. I'm going to try and draw them out. We got the other tag pushing, so we're going to come in and push from the other flank, and now we're all going to kind of chase them and go into that choke. We're going to drop all our boon rips in there, and they're going to start crumbling, and then they're going to go around the corner to the left, but they're going to turn into the corner through the doorway on the left, trying to regroup. But that was their biggest mistake, because now they can't go anywhere. Keep dropping more boon rip on them and damage, and they're kind of stuck. If we didn't have the boon rip, they probably would have held out longer, like at the other camp. But this time, they just really kind of like a house of cards and dominoes just falling down. So that was a really good fight. We put that to bed. It was only half the amount of time the other one did. This was about a 5-minute fight. The other one was a 10-minute fight-ish. But both good fights, and I'm really, excited. I think everybody did well. What an amazing fight. Good practice for me again with supports. I could certainly stand to get better with that, and I'll probably do some more with druid in the future. I also want to do some with vindicator. Vindicator's supposed to be pretty good. Really I want to try finishing my series of having at least one video on each profession as a support or a healer. Either way, that's it. I think you've heard enough of my chatter. Hope this was helpful, entertaining, fun. thank you for watching. I hope you guys all have a most excellent day.